This week's comprehensive headlines. Tane's in the slammer. Cash is blocked. Alf disgusted. Leah's found her bra. Justin's had a semi-on. Joe is being Joe. Remi has a mask. Sonny eats carpet. And Holden's being his usual creep.
Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine, thanks to you. Okay. You met up with Dana?
I might have.
You might have. Right, you didn't think to run that by me, no?
I met up with her as a favour to you.
As a favour to me? Right, how'd you work that one out, buddy?
Because you're not the first person to come through here and push away the people closest to you. I thought she should know that.
Mate, who do you think you are? My relationship counsellor? Don't talk to her.
Fine, but you might have to.
Hi. You're okay? I was really worried.
What are you doing here?
We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast. Your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
Dig in and stay strong, Soph. Let's do a Matheson.
Dig in. What we having? What we having? Chips.
I don't know, that's what John said. Let's do a Matheson.
Do a Matheson.
Dig in and stay strong.
Yes. I think that was bad advice in the context, but there we go.
Bit rude, actually, in the context. Out of context, should I say. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Ready for a dirty flaming pod?
I am. Yes, I'm ready for the kind of pod that Mr. Stewart would be uncomfortably shifting in his chair listening to. Yes. Yes.
Oh, he's just sitting there trying to get 6 down.
Yes.
And he's got to put up with his pod.
Exactly. Exactly.
How have you been?
I'm all right, I think. Yeah, busy week. Glad it's Friday. How about you?
Same. It's been long. I've been shifting a cold.
Oh.
I'm now off work for a week, which is nice.
Spring
it feels
break.
good.
Woohoo!
You just a lot less spring breaky.
Spring break. Woohoo!
I think I need like one of those red. What do they call those red cups?
Oh, they're just
And
called
like,
red cups. Yeah.
Red cups. Yeah, they're called red cups, and
Yeah.
a big
Yes.
cask of ale,
Yes.
and girls with
Keg
tits.
stand.
Yes. That'd be spring break, wouldn't it?
Yes. There you go. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Bit of twerking in your back garden. There you go.
Frat boys. Yeah. What's going on? Yeah, but I can't wait. It's not going to be like that, but I can't wait.
It is in my head. That's how I'm picturing your spring break.
That's how you picture I live.
Yes. Of course. Does everybody? Isn't that how everybody lives? Is it just me? Oh dear. I tell you what though, although I'm glad it's the weekend, it's the bad weekend where we get like 1 hour less.
Oh, I know.
I don't like this one. I like the other one where we get the extra hour. That one's great. Love that one. They should just keep doing that until the year's over.
Until day becomes night.
Yeah, just every Sunday, just give us an extra hour. Love that. Great. But no, it's
that
the
would
bad
be nice.
one.
It's the one we lose. So we go forward, don't we? But I mean,
Yeah.
it just means I end up. I don't. Do we lose? I just get up later.
I feel this one. Even though it's like only an hour, this one always discombobulates me, and I don't know why. I think it's because of the daylight thing as well.
Yeah, it goes dark again in the morning, doesn't it? For a bit.
Yeah, I think it does something to my body. My body's like expecting it to be a different time. This one always messes me up for about 2 weeks. Don't know why. I'm very sensitive little house flower.
You are, aren't you?
Little plant.
We'll look after you. How was home and away this week for you then?
Oh, it's been a laugh this week. I laughed. I have laughed this week. There's been some good stuff. I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed watching it, thinking about how cross you would be at Sarge.
Oh, don't.
And that has been hilarious, but not because Home and Away is hilarious, just because I'm sitting there thinking, I bet Si's hating this. I bet Si's clenching his fist.
I've reached a point,
Oh no! Oh no! You can tell me all about it because I'm waiting. Yeah, that's been funny, and obviously Mr. Stewart has been absolutely hysterical this week. So getting very outraged by the sex talk in the diner.
Those days are long gone, aren't they?
Looks like it. Not flaming interested. But anyway. It's been very funny. How about you? Have you enjoyed it?
Yes, it's been all good. Like you say, we've had some of that lighter stuff from Alf, which has been good. And I was messaging you, wasn't I? Going, oh, you go, wait till you see this. And then, the Tana stuff. Yeah, we'll come on to it. But obviously, it's a very big story, and it is an interesting story in that it's got legs, and and it's affecting a number of people. So it's still got its intrigue. Do you know what I mean? So we're invested in it, and it's moving at pace, which is good. We're not sitting there getting frustrated with it because now it's happening.
Yeah.
I will say that I found Remi's stuff surprisingly moving. I'll come on to it, and I'll quite like the sort of that the show went into detail again. And there's been a couple of examples of this, from Home and Away in the last few years of really showing these sort of big hitters in this way. Not to compare it to other storylines, but just like giving us the detail that you wouldn't normally see. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Educational, some might say.
It is, and it's pretty true to reality as well. Some of the stuff that we've seen, with the hospital visits and the mask and everything, very true to life. Almost kind of to a point where I think if you've been through that, it might be uncomfortable to watch because it's so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so.
Yeah.
And it's not done in a salacious way or in a really a way that makes you feel uncomfortable in that kind of, not like it's over-egged, or it's just very matter of fact. I think it's very well done. I think a lot of the medical stuff on Home and Away is very well done. They must have really good people behind the scenes, giving them advice on how to tackle these situations and like make it sort of more realistic and that kind of thing, because it does really work, and it does make you feel for the character more, because you're like, oh crikey, this is kind of harrowing. But I can imagine if you've been through that, it probably does even like feels closer to home, you know what I mean, because of how how good it is, how well it's been portrayed, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So for that reason, like, that kept me as well. So
yes.
I think they're doing well with that story. I really do. So so even though it's not all happy games, there is some somber stuff.
Yes.
We've sort of had it all this week. It's been one of those, hasn't it?
Has been a lot. We did a bit of a recap, didn't we, before on WhatsApp, just what's been happening this week, and the list was pretty long actually, and pretty varied. We had all the Leah and Justin stuff, which was like the comedy, and Alf being outraged by it, and then the heavy stuff has been Sunny Remi, hasn't it, really? And Tana, arguably, and everyone's been in this week. I think everyone's kind of had a scene. I don't think we're missing many people, are we? In terms of, I think most of the cast has done something this week.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
for a change. Right, shall we do it? Shall we talk about this week's Home and Away?
Go on then.
Beginning of the week. You'll remember, now you're going to have to roll with me for a couple of minutes, all right? Because Mac wants to distract Jo so that she can break into ICPD to see her blessed friend. And Cash lets her in, sorry. And talking through the bars, aren't they? And it's all dramatic, and it's that shot, isn't it, of the big Hulk behind the bars that the show's obviously gone for, And she's telling him to, talk through, listen, basically talk to your brief, do whatever your brief says, right? We're going to get you out of here. We're going to rally round, and we're going to, truth will prevail. You are innocent. No questions, right? Now, one first thing, we've seen this brief before.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, thank you.
Because
You know,
I'm sure somebody said that she was too young, and you and I had a conversation about how we thought that was really weird comment.
Yeah.
I can't remember whose brief she was though.
I mean, was it not Tane's last time?
Was it?
When he went to court with, she did the court case, didn't she?
Baby brief? Was it?
I'm sure it was.
I remember there being a weird comment from the last time she was in, because I remember them saying something like she's too young to know, and she got a bit like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
and we were like, she didn't look that young to us. She looked in her 30s.
No, there was doubt cast about her abilities, weren't there?
And her experience. Yeah. I'm glad you remembered that, because I was sitting there thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Well done.
Well done, us.
See, we are. Give yourself a pat on the back. So we are paying attention.
I can't remember exactly the scenario, but I remember us talking about her. Her face was familiar. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I saw her, I thought, yeah, this makes sense. Jo can't hold Dad for long, can she? Useless, that girl. Useless. Harper is elsewhere, realising it might be a mum. Thank God. Bloody hell, it took her time. I mean, you've really got to spell this thing out to these people, haven't you?
It's like, who could have had access to Tane's house and also know how to get a big bag of drugs?
Yeah, from the gift shop.
And who's been in Tane's house recently?
Yeah. I wonder who that could be.
From the gift shop.
Delayed reaction made that more funny.
I heard it, but I didn't process it quick enough. That's so funny.
Gift shop drugs.
I don't remember that gift shop in Sydney Airport, but there we go.
No, well, we legged it past it. Let's not. Let's not.
True.
Let's not.
We didn't even see the airport.
Couldn't I should have added that to the complaint. No hugs and no drugs.
No Tim Tams and no Coke. How rude. Oh dear.
Did I say hugs? I meant drugs. Right, got a solicitor. We've seen her before. We know she's good. Right, everyone's pennies are dropping. Right, Jo can't hold Dad for long. The solicitor basically tells Tana, say nothing at this stage, doesn't she? And they basically, we're at this point where we're waiting for a hearing to see if he'll get bail. Everyone is pretty much resigned to the fact that he's not going to get it. Now, Sarge finds out that Cash's line of thinking is Kerry. And not only that, but that he has started some inquiries, hasn't he, with his little cheeky talks with Tana through the prison door, to the cell door, sorry. Now, he's not happy about this, is he? In fact, he's low-key fume about this. But as he's already looking into it, he's open to finding out about it, isn't he? By the book, he tells him, we need to do this by the book. Now, later on, a couple of episodes later, Sarge really isn't happy about Cash's, because he doesn't go on this by the book journey with him, does he? No. He learns more about Tana's allegiances, and he feels like Tana isn't being very objective when it comes to the case. In fact, when Tana gets his court date, and it's tomorrow, obviously, and he's bringing him his
12 hours.
Sarge tells him he needs to keep his distance, keeps him out the king, gets his password locked out, doesn't he, and all this stuff. He wants him away from this case, and this is the final sort of straw that breaks the camel's back. Sarge turfs him off the case, doesn't he? Says he's too close to it. He thinks Tana is innocent, and therefore, made more prominent by the fact that when it gets to the hearing, Cash ends up going and paying for the bail.
Yep.
What the hell? 40 grand. 40 G's. Do you think Sarge is right to take him off? I think I do, you know.
I think he is right, but I think it doesn't help that he's a massive hypocrite for this. Because he, you know, we know that Sarge, and we've been warned. Like you remind us quite a lot on the podcast that Lacey warned us, didn't she? She warned us about Dad ages ago. I think there was a conversation with Theo, and she says, "Yeah, he has rules, but you have to follow them, but he doesn't have to. You know, he's a bit of a hypocrite."
Yeah.
And this is another example. We've had a few examples now of Sarge being a hypocrite, and I couldn't help sort of sitting at home, and I was kind of laughing to myself, and I was like, I wonder what Sai thinks of this.
Honestly, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I sort of agreed with his decision. Cash has wrapped himself up in it. It's not just that his friend come ex flatmate and he feels he's innocent and he'll
brother-in-law as well.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's not just that, you know, he's working the case and he will get to the truth. He's doing. It's about image, isn't it, and what you seem to be doing. And I think if this thing goes to court, even when you're trying to prove innocence, the fact that you were doing things, you know, not right is going to bite you on the ass. Do you know what I mean?
He's not explained it very well, I don't think. I don't, and he shouldn't really have to because, you know, Cash is a copper and not just a copper, but we keep being told Senior Constable Newman, you know, he's Senior Constable. He shouldn't have to be told that, you know, if you believe this guy is innocent and it goes to court and they manage to find some dirt about you muddying the waters, then that's not going to look good. It shouldn't have to explain that to him, but I think he probably should have said it out loud for the audience, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely. But then on the other side, because I can't stand Sarge. Honestly, I can't do this anymore. So I'm at that. I honestly can't because the guy from the very beginning has got this all wrong. Right, he isn't the lovable policeman who everybody knows, and he's always he's at the social events, and he's friends with the diner gals, and he's integrating with, you know, people, and he's you know, he's out and socializing with friends that we know and love, and he's total integration. He's none of that, you know, like Cash is.
Yes,
you know,
they have
or like
tried,
previous,
though, haven't they? Like they have tried.
Have they?
Well, I'd say he's tried to integrate in terms of Justin and Leah, and like I'd say he's quite cozy with them too.
Do you reckon even that? I mean, I'll take your point, but even that feels dead weird, disjointed to me.
I think it's because they don't seem like likely friends.
I just think he's got this wrong. He's not neighborhood policing.
No.
He seems to be on it. Like him and Cash have had a tumultuous relationship since the second he arrived.
Yes,
like professionally, like he's up there in Irene's house, which doesn't help the fact that I can't stand him in there. But like we've seen him do a barbecue where he invites the girls and, like you say, Leah and Justin. That's it. Right, but it's got to be like at his house. What else does he do? And when he approaches his policing, he's against the characters. He's against the people who we're supposed to, as the audience, be rooting for.
Yes,
right. He's never on their side. Now, flip the coin. Cash is the other way. Like Cash will break a rule the first sign of trouble. Do you know what I mean? You know, he'll look up your long lost druggy mother. No problem.
True. Yes.
Sarge won't, and I think for me that sort of epitomizes and represents his lack of feeling like he belongs here in the Bay on this show. Get off.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. I think his approach is so different from Cash's in that it's so stark. For me, it's like Sarge doesn't trust anybody. Like he would, you know, that whole thing about being a cop is like you have to take an oath and you have to You know, what did he say about Cash? You know, once you're in this building, in these four walls, you are
I've
loyal
written
to
it. Hang on, I've
loyal to
written
the
it down.
uniform or something.
Yeah, in these walls, you're a slave to the uniform. Or
Yeah. So
your
that's
loyalty is to the uniform, not your mate. He said.
yes. And I think that is like a cop oath thing that they have to say, that even if they find out that their closest people to them, if their closest people to them were doing a crime and they found out about it, they wouldn't cover it up. They have to you have to be willing to arrest your own family, kind of thing. And I think Sarge is so to the letter with this, with other people, not with his own family. This is the hypocrite with him as well, is that he expects that from everybody else. He expects them to turn on their friends and to put their emotions last and not trust anybody and blah 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 blah. But we know that the minute it comes to his own family, he's a hypocrite, because he's pointing fingers at Cash and saying, you're too close to this case. You don't. That's your ex-brother-in-law. You used to live with him. You're mates with him. You've put bail money down. Blah blah blah. And then it takes Harper in the diner to have a slanging match with Sarge and say, "Are you not too close? Because your daughter's sleeping with the person." And you know what? You warned her off. You warned him off. Sorry, you warned him off dating your daughter. You know, is it not a conflict of interest? Should you not be involved in this case? But
I loved Harper then.
He won't see it that way.
No.
Like, he'll point a finger, but he's not very self-aware. He's not self-reflective. He hasn't realized that he's actually doing the stuff that he criticizes other people for. He hasn't actually realized that he's doing it. I don't think. And that's frustrating. It is, genuinely. But I do think it's interesting. I think he's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Because I'm actually, I don't want him to. Everyone keeps saying like he's miserable, and you know, I just want to see him like develop into a nice kind of like another Cash. You know what I mean? Like a nice, well-rounded guy. And I'm like, I actually would quite like to see Sarge just go full, you know, widower, psycho, crazy. I'd actually quite like that. I'd actually, and he would think he was doing the right thing, because even though he might be breaking the law by whatever he's doing, he's so black and white. He's like, yes, but if I'm doing it, I know I'm right, so it's okay. But if you're doing it, you're wrong because you're a copper. He doesn't really have that self-awareness, and I think he could like almost convince himself that he's allowed to break the law, that he's above the law, because he's right, and he's, you know, but nobody else is allowed to make that decision themselves. And I kind of want to see him like go over the edge and like, because it's interesting. I don't want him to be happy. I want him to be miserable.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see that either. I think for me, I think he's been so entrenched in these values that actually it's a matter of time before he looks like a plonker.
Yes.
You know, because otherwise, what do you write for him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I just find him so cold. I don't find him. But he's no different at home. When we see him at home, he's like this. So I'm like, is he supposed to be like, you know, like, is it me? Like, I don't, you know, and that, I mean, thank God Harper had that scream at him, and thank God, I mean, and Harper is like the total opposite in that she's full on emotional and expressive, and I quite liked that butted against him. And then when he went and visited Tana when, you know, Joe was there, and she basically gave him a what for, didn't she? And said, you can tell me what to do, you can stop me seeing him when he's behind bars, but you can't stop me seeing him now. At what point is this man going to listen to what people are telling him and turn that into doing his job properly?
Yeah. Well, that's the hypocrite bit, isn't it? Is he doesn't want Tane to be innocent, because his own agenda is he wants this guy away from his daughter, and it would suit him quite well for Tane to be in prison for 15 years, I think. You know, because although he's saying the right things to Joe, you know, he don't marry, what was his name again? The other guy, what was his name? Can't remember his name. The one she was going to marry, then didn't.
Train guy. He's gone already.
Got Eddie. That's
Nathaniel.
It.
Oh, that.
Nathaniel.
Where did that come from? Is there a Nathaniel? I don't know. Where did that come
I
from?
don't know. That's hilarious. I don't know. Maybe we're going to get a Nathaniel one day, and then we'll remember this conversation.
He looks like he'd be a Nathaniel.
He does look like, yeah, he does. Nathaniel the Spaniel. Yes. Eddie, like, it would have suited Sarge down to the ground for someone like Eddie to marry his daughter, you know, someone who's never going to be in trouble with the law, someone that he could probably manipulate and not as high IQ as Sarge and all that kind of stuff. He'd probably be happy for Joe to marry someone beige like that. But he's not happy for her to go with someone like Tana. And, you know, if Tana happened to be behind bars, then, oh, well, never mind. Even if he's innocent, I don't think Sarge really cares.
God, he makes me feel sick.
Yes.
I can't
understand. I can understand.
When he's on the trailer, I'm thinking, I dread tomorrow.
Oh no! Right. See, I am enjoying it. I do find him. I have warmed up to the Langhams, probably less so with Joe. But I really like Lacey, and I am warming up to Sarge, and I do find him kind of hysterical because he is such an idiot hypocrite that I almost find it kind of caricature funny. You know what I mean? Like I'm able to laugh at it. But I understand where you come from, and I can see why you get annoyed with him.
I'm just like, just express something.
Yes.
He just sort of walks in the room, and he looks like he's looking through me.
I actually was thinking of you. You know, with that scene on, I think it was on Friday's episode.
He doesn't even move across the set quick.
No, he looks. This is what we were talking about when he first joins. He just looks constantly exhausted. He looks like he hasn't slept. He looks like he's been alive for 200 years and hasn't slept a full night's sleep in that entire time. That's how he looks to me. And
you know, when they were doing the drugs bust, he just looked like he was floating around the room.
I think possibly a vampire. Then he might be a vampire.
This guy's on wheels.
He could be. Yeah, he could be. But I was laughing because there was a scene when they were in Salt and he was at the bar and Justin came and sat next to him and Justin was like, I can lend you an ear or buy you a drink, and he was like, both. I'll take both. And I was crying laughing. I was like, I bet Si's cringing through this.
I think I actually said, oh, I'd fucking forget it. If I was in Justin's shoes.
It was so monosyllabic and so like every word Sarge says, it sounds like it's taken all of his strength to just say it out loud.
It does, you're right.
But I find it really funny and I don't know why. I find it hilarious.
I tell you, I was thinking about you as well when, like, all the girls rallied round and cleaned Tana's house for him.
I'm so annoyed.
And then Joe, they're all having their little meetings with Joe. Joe and Harper are now best friends.
Oh, please.
Like, I was thinking of you in the same way as she's going to be like the entire town rallying.
All the women dropping everything to clean this bloke's house and get him a lawyer and no.
You distract him, I'll go into the cop shop and speak to him and sneak out the back door.
Oh God, yes. No, it was. My eyes were rolling. Can we talk about the cop shop back door for a second? Actually,
please. Yeah,
because I'm obsessed with doors on Home and Away, particularly the back door, as we know. Have an obsession. But why? I'm sorry, but why is the back door to the cop shop right next to the prison?
Don't know, but it's the only back door that's shut.
But it's not swipe card access.
No,
it hasn't got an alarm. There's no code. You don't have to put a code in. You don't have to like set an alarm off. You don't have to swipe. You just push the bar and it opens.
Right by the cell.
And the cell looks flimsy. Like this guy, Tana. I'm not being funny. He just lifted a train off a woman 2 weeks ago. He can lift himself out of that cell. Can't he? Those bars are not comparable to a train.
No, they're not. And I tell you, he's not skipped a workout either since he's been in there.
That's true. He's actually got bigger. What's that about? Yeah. He looks enormous behind that jail bar.
He does.
He looks like he could just even
walk through it.
Just smash his way through it like the Hulk. And
Yeah.
then he would happily skip off into the bush because that door is not coded or alarmed or anything.
Nope.
And it's right there. It's right next to the cell.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I did find this funny.
It's not designed, this police station, to house such high caliber of criminal. You see,
No.
it's just for protesting housewives normally.
Yes, it is. It's for people that
Yeah.
tag vehicles in baseball
Yeah.
caps. Yes, it is.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
So, Tane's on bail. Cash has stumped up the cash. I'm not sure Eden's fully aware, so I'm a bit like,
but whose cash is it? Because does it come out of the Remi account or?
well, yeah. This
Mm.
is it. You see, because he does have savings. We know that, don't we?
He does, but has he nipped into the old $1 million account or not? That's what I want to know.
And if Remi survives his, his
his treatment.
Treatment. That's the word. Would he ask for that back? Would he miss a mill? Who knows?
I think you'd miss a mill, wouldn't you? Yeah, I think you'd miss that. I would.
A fifth of you. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, leave it till Monday. Let it balance, and then we'll check again.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're right. What cash has he used? Who knows? And is it another secret with Eden? Do you know what I mean? And Eden and Cash have felt really disjointed this week to me.
Yeah.
Because Eden is obviously incredibly worried about Remi, but Cash seems to just he's even telling her he's on a late shift when he's not. He was just going to stay behind work. And he's off doing that. And then he comes home and then sort of asks how that happened. And then they hug and then it cut. I don't feel like they're much of a couple this week. They just seem to be a sort of ships in the night.
Yes, which is it's a theme now because this has happened for a few times, hasn't it?
And they're both on different storylines, and that just seems weird. They should be crossed over here.
Yeah.
Whether that's just the way the writing's gone or whether it's a deliberate thing, I don't know. But they just feel a bit off to me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But there we go. Another couple that are off the boil. Dana and Sonny.
Oh dear. You predicted this?
I know. I wish I was wrong, but
yeah.
it was inevitable, wasn't it? Again, providing us some really good dramatic scenes, though. To watch. The both of them are performing their socks off here. Dana feels as though she's in this endless holding pattern, as she puts it. You'll remember Sonny, like you say, ended it last week. She's sort of, it's the anger talking, it's the grief process, it's, pushing me away, things will come good in the end type holding pattern she's in, you know. Sonny is very clear, though, isn't he? He's very down on himself, for one, but two, he's very clear that he's like, it's over. And I got quite cross with him this week. Me and you were chatting, weren't we? When the episode went out, because he's so down on himself. And we were right on first look. He was doing the physiotherapy stuff and getting frustrated in his recuperation. I don't think he's mentally at the stage where his physical rehabilitation should be. Let's say
no.
And I think that's something that perhaps, if we're nitpicking at this storyline, that bit's been overlooked a bit, right? And I was saying to you about, what is it, Warren, the bloke?
Yeah.
I didn't warm to him, and you were like, "Yeah, it's the tough love bit," and I was like, "I think he needs mental help as well. I think for this."
Yeah.
So, yeah, his head's not in the game. He's not into the physical stuff he's got to do, and Dana calls him after she has a chat with John. And she, even though she said she's going to keep a distance, stay away, she gives him a call, and she tells him that just that she'll leave him be, but I'm not going to give up on you. And he has a right go at her, doesn't he? Basically, you're pathetic. It's over. What you doing? Drops his blinking phone halfway through it and seems to spend 12 hours reaching for it.
It does, because in between the phone calls, she was in Salt with her sister telling her about it. Then she appeared at the rehab facility.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's still sitting there.
Reaching for his phone.
He's not even tried to move his wheelchair near her. Like, what the hell has he been doing for an hour?
Bit of a timeline blip there, wasn't there?
I think she
Yeah.
used the old
The wormhole.
the wormhole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously a few of them in Summer Bay. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's either the wormhole or the farmyard bus route. One of the two.
The magic bus. Yes.
He's dreadful to her
Mm.
at this point. And I'm a bit worried that Dana's going to get to a point where she can't take any more of this off him.
No. Yeah. Because you can tell yourself that he's doing it because he's reacting, and it's not he's putting up a front, isn't he? We know he is. We can tell he is, and she's not stupid. She knows what he's doing. She's called him out on it. You know, you're doing this because you want to push me away, and you don't want to be a burden, and blah blah blah. She can see it, but then like you say, there's only so much of that you can tell yourself while someone is being vile to you.
Yeah.
There?
Yeah. There comes a point where it's self-abuse at that point, putting yourself through it.
Yeah.
I'm really, really worried here. Really worried. I knew this was going to be tough, but like, this is bad. And I don't know if this is going to go too far that we can't come back.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I was a bit disappointed this week. I don't know what your take on this is. You know, when Remi went to see him, because he does have this like fall, doesn't he? Eventually,
Yeah.
so he's you know, he's refusing help. He's pushing everyone away. He's getting angry, and then he's trying to speed out of this room, and he falls out of his chair, doesn't he? And at this point, it kind of shows you how vulnerable he is, because he's not doing his exercises. He's not able to get himself back into his chair.
Yeah.
He's not got Dana as his emergency contact. He's got Remi, and he doesn't know that Remi is also going through a load of stuff. And actually, he's not a very reliable emergency contact right now. But I was glad to see them having scenes together, because I thought, is this it? Is this the bit where Remi tells him, you know, stop being a galah. You're going to have to let Dana back in, because I can't be there for you. I've got my own shit going on, and you can't rely on me. Like, I could have a seizure at any moment. I've got to go to, you know, radiation or whatever. I was expecting this to happen, and then I thought, there was a scene later on, wasn't there, when Remi's eyesight was going, and he was trying to read his phone about his appointment, and Warren came over to talk to him at the facility, and I thought, he's going to tell Warren. He's going to say to Warren, you need to talk him round about Dana, because I can't be there for him. I've got my own health problems. And again, that conversation didn't happen. And there was a couple of times where I was like, I was begging for him to tell either Sonny or Warren that he's not going to be around. He's not going to be able to be his emergency contact, and that they need to come up with a plan. And it didn't happen. And I was like, I can't figure out why, or how is Sonny going to find out about Remi, because it's going to be obvious soon, isn't it?
It is, especially as let's even just go basic, like Sonny's going to want him for something, or there's going to be something that Sonny needs, and he's going to have an appointment.
Yeah.
Just as basic as that, innit?
Yeah.
And you can only keep a lid on things for so long. There's already a few people know, and there was a big deal made of Abby wanting to know something this week. So I think that the knowledge is going to seep out wider.
Yeah.
I, like you, agree. I thought this was going to be the moment where they sat down as buddies and had a good, honest, frank conversation. Actually, I'm glad it didn't happen in the end, because I think it was, and it was, but I think we were supposed to take it more as an understanding of it made Remi go through with the treatment.
Yeah, that's true.
And with the radiotherapy, because I think he wasn't going to do it, was he? He was on the fence, and he was going through his whole inner thing. And I think seeing how much Sonny relies on him made him go, do you know what? I'm being a bit of a galah. I need to go and man up. I need to go and try and get this tumour shrunk. I think it's kicked Remi out the way. Yeah. And I think let's give Remi a week or two to get a bit further along. But I think if he leaves it any longer than that, it's going to be very, very difficult again for their friendship. Because Sonny's going to feel like he's a burden again.
Yeah.
And if he's just getting past that at that stage, everyone's going backwards.
Yes, exactly. And it's difficult, isn't it? Because we know that Remi has closed the studio down, so he's not doing that. He hasn't got a day job, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if he isn't available and Sonny needs him, it's going to be really obvious that he's just doing to Sonny. He's going to think he's just ignoring him or doesn't, can't handle the hard stuff.
Yeah. Even just the symptoms and the side effects of the radiation.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to
How
wipe
is he
him
going to?
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the jig is going to be up very soon. He might as well, and they're supposed to be friends from way, way back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I think it's going to be a lovely scene. I like you enjoyed their scenes together, and I think I was sitting there like you, willing it. But I think it's going to be a good scene when we get it.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they don't fall out. Because I was thinking, if this doesn't come out soon, they're going to fall out, and then when it eventually does come to light, it's going to be Sonny feeling guilty that he was horrible to him. He's good. Eventually, Sonny's going to feel guilty for being horrible to Dana. It's going to happen. He's going to have to come back from that at some point.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to do it twice if he falls out with Remi as well. Yeah.
And I don't know, there's going to be hospital visits, and because there was a couple of, you have to really look for these things it's not always quite explicit in the script, but there was a thing about him getting seen at the hospital and like who saw him there. So that I've made a mental note of that in case that's how it might happen.
Yeah. Because Dana works there, Joe works there, Levi obviously already knows, and he works there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to think, because who else?
Mac knows that there's a problem with Remi, but she doesn't know the details.
Mac lives with Abby.
Yeah, who
is sisters with.
Who's worried about Eden.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's linked, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's
going to come out.
Yeah. What did you make of his? Because we touched on it at the start of the episode, but when he went in for the radiotherapy, I really enjoyed this because I was horrified.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Just sort of how I think you used the term matter of fact, and that's stuck with me for the last 41 minutes. Because there was no words or fluffing, was there? And I was looking at it thinking, because on soaps like this, because characters, they'll get cancer.
Yeah.
You'll see them to and fro the hospital. There might be scenes of them at home throwing up into a bucket, or you see that side of cancer over and over and over again, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's always more about them exploring the aftermath, the effects on the loved ones. I thought this was quite refreshing for us to be in that room with that mask that looked really uncomfortable, really, really terrifying, if I'm being honest, and no one else is allowed to be in there with you. It's screwed down.
Yeah. Because you can't move. Like if he falls asleep and twitches, it's it's a problem. So it's really restrictive, and then it's bolted to the table so you can't move your head.
Yeah.
It's claustrophobic.
How uncomfortable.
It's awful.
But I really, I'm so glad I saw that, because I was just like, you just don't see that, do you?
No, not
on
in
telly, in dramas like this.
That amount of detail, and so, like you say, realistic, and it was like seeing it from Remi's point of view, wasn't it? Because, like you say, a lot of the time we see the loved ones in the waiting room, we see their kind of sorrow and pain and all of that sort of stuff. But this was like, put yourself in his shoes. He's terrified. He's going through something that is, no one ever wants to go through, or no one ever wishes this on someone else. He doesn't know what it entails, and it's all from the hospital's point of view. They do this every day, And it was very matter of fact. It was like, oh, this is your mask, and this is what happens, and this is what you're gonna do. And it was
Yeah.
all. It was like she was explaining how to cook an egg. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
it was so clinical.
Mm,
But then when you kind of put yourself in his shoes, it's absolutely terrifying, isn't it?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. And I said a bit earlier about comparing. You remember when we were talking about after Flick's sexual assault
Mm,
and how they did the whole medical stuff again?
yeah.
You've got to do this, and we saw it. We saw the detail at the
Yeah.
hospital. I think not that it's a similar story by any stretch of the imagination,
No.
but that side, that detail that we went through, I think was really good. And it
It's the
reminded me of
approach.
stories like that.
Yeah, the approach that they take with the hospital stuff is really good because it's exactly what would happen if you went to hospital, because it is very matter of fact, it is very clinical, it is very, right, I need you to lie down on this table, or I need you to do that, I need you to do this. And to the hospital staff, they've said that 100 times. It's almost like they're reading off a script now, because they've said it.
Yeah.
But to the
Yeah.
patient, it's the first time they've ever had to do this, and it's all scary. And that you feel that the way they film this, and the way they do the close-up shots of Remi's face, and you feel as scared as he is watching it, don't you?
You do. Yeah. Really well done. Really well done. And he's gone home now to await sickness.
Where does he live? Is he still at a hotel?
Yeah, apparently he's checked into a hotel and that's where he is. He's really he won't accept Eden's offer, will he?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's as bad as Sonny in terms of not wanting to be a burden, isn't he? He's just as bad as.
Yeah.
Is this a fella thing? Is this a bloke thing?
I mean, it is a bit. Like that's why they say men don't go to the doctors and things about stuff. It's interesting. It's happening to men actually on the show now.
Yeah.
Now you mention it.
It's good though. It's good and it's good that they, it's showing that realistic side of, they're not leaning on their friends or their family. As frustrating as it is to watch, it's probably realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it is quite interesting as well. Cash and Eden sort of talking in code in front of people about him, like the flatmate. But apparently Levi took him to this hotel and left him there, so we're all good. He must be good. So we'll find out. Do you want to talk about Leah and Justin? Or if we must.
I have mixed feelings.
Do you know what? I'm allowing it purely because they're not screaming at each other.
That's true.
Well, they are actually, but
luckily we're not privy to that bit.
The walls are thin at the old motel.
Oh my god, that motel needs some more bleach. Yeah. Wow. A lot has happened in that room.
Especially lately.
There's been people coming down from drug abuse in that room. There's been people getting abused by their ex-husbands in that room. There's been a lot of
babies,
hanky-panky in that room. Yeah. It's not the most romantic setting, I've got to be honest.
I did when we first sort of cut to it, and then I realised what was happening. I was like, "Are we doing some sort of role play?" Like, because I thought this is just I don't know where to look. But no, we just sort of booked it for a bit. But like, you don't live with anyone. You didn't need that privacy, did you?
Make any sense? If it had been role play, that would have made more sense because
if it was like Bond, what are you doing here, Bond?
I like that. That's where you went with the role play. Now I understand you a bit more now. That was your go-to. Interesting.
Is it? Or is it just really telling? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, why were we at? Why the motel?
Why the motel?
Other than the only thing I can think of, having watched that amazing studio tour on YouTube the other week, is that the motel set us up. and they
'Cause
had no
Kerry-
space to put their house up, so they just
Kerry's just moved out, hasn't she? So
put it in the script.
they've just swapped the duvet over and gone, right, there you go.
Yeah, this set's what we've got. We're
Yeah.
at the motel.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure happens more than we probably notice. Yeah. So it was a bit odd. And then not only that, then I was just so happy and gleeful that they weren't getting a divorce and screaming and shouting and
That's
leaving
true.
and leaving. I was just like, you know what? Crack on, guys. Like, because I'm exhausted about the other stuff. I'm not going to complain about this. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like, I've had enough whinging about you. But then there's this weird. He takes offence that she said the motel was an expensive way to do it when they've got an empty house. Yeah, and he takes offence because he hears tacky motel.
Well, this is where I'm confused. Can I ask you a question about this? Because she says it's expensive, and then he says it's tacky. Like tacky.
She never said it. Yeah,
but tacky things are cheap. Tacky things aren't expensive. I was confused. I was like, is it tacky or expensive? Because it can't be both.
No, you're right. Actually, yeah. Now you say it.
I'm confused. Was it expensive because they live 9 minutes? She said they live 9-minute drive away or something, didn't she? So it's a 9-minute drive to the hotel, and they've got beds in there. They've got multiple beds in their own house. So did she mean it was expensive to go there when they've got their own house down the road, but it's also tacky to go to a motel
to
have sex in the afternoon? Is it both?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's what she was trying to say.
Yeah,
but like she never actually used the T word.
No, she didn't.
No. I think it was more of his insecurity. I took from it that he was probably feeling like it wasn't like, very good in the set.
What did you make of it? Before I go in there with my 2Ps, what did you make of the gesture from Justin?
Like, given recent history, I wouldn't complain.
That's true. Okay, fair enough.
And like, you've had a day out.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it was something different. He's trying to spice it up. He's trying to reclaim.
Yes.
Let's face it, and the sexual like that was a big part of their relationship, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That was part of them two as a couple, and I think he's trying to do something that sort of rekindles that. I don't think you can knock the guy for trying.
That's
where
true.
I'm at.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Why? What do you?
Well, I wasn't like overly impressed with it. I'll be honest, because I think he probably oversold it to her. Because when he opened the door and she was stood there and she looked absolutely knockout. Let's not beat around the bush. She looks amazing. She was hair done. She was makeup done. She was mani-pedied. She was spray tan. She's probably waxed every hair off her body. You know what I mean? She's done a load of work to look that amazing, and then she's been turned up and just thrown into a bed. And I was like, it's a little bit of a waste of effort in terms of the serenading and the I don't know bit. The bit before the bed was missing for me. And I kind of remembered when they went off for the spa break and they got caught the skinny dipping Jarvis spa break.
Yeah.
If he'd done something a bit more like that, where they'd had more of put more of an effort into the bit before they go to bed, I think I would have enjoyed it more and been a bit more.
I hear you. I do
know.
hear you. Because the only bit before this was they got turfed out the diner by Marilyn. And then John sat on their romantic meal.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. Yeah, bless him.
So this was like Justin trying to get some peace from everyone.
That's
but again,
true.
you've got a house. So
yeah, it just fell a bit short for me. Because I think because she'd made such an effort to look so lovely.
Yeah.
And then it was the only person that saw it was Justin, and it was all ruined in probably 9.5 minutes. So I'm being generous.
How many? I gotta say,
I've doubled it. I'm being
maybe
generous.
he is Bond.
Oh dear. Yeah.
007 isn't just his thing, you know. I think I understood it as Justin felt like you did. Like, it was a bit slapdash, and he had insecurities about that. And then she's picked up on, like,
Yeah.
it wasn't amazing. So then he sort of run with that. Oh, yeah, you're saying it was tacky, blah, blah, blah. I'm useless sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? I felt like there was more sort of inner insecurity about the idea coming out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she feels dreadful.
Mm.
And then... So then she does it back. It's like, this was so weird because then this like, but it involves Alf delivering this flaming dirty flaming note message. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I was crying laughing.
Well, before that, he'd already heard about round one in the diner. Because obviously after round one, they went back to the diner, and Marilyn's all like, "Oh, tell me how it happened. Like, what was your date like?" And I was like, "Don't ask. You don't want to know. Like, don't go there." And then, I had a really nice dress on for a minute, and he had a really nice suit on for a minute, and then Alf's in the background going, "Can we just? I don't want to think about Justin and his undercrackers. Like, this is gross." Yeah, so we'd already heard the we went into a hotel and
even the joke about him flipping his back out.
Oh God, he hated that, didn't he? He hated that. Yes, he was like, I don't need to hear this. So why did he agree to courier the dirty notes? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's all you know what I was thinking. I was chatting to Mr. David on Twitter about this week. So we were finding this hilarious, obviously. Anyway, because I think everyone I've spoken to this week has found this hilarious. Mr. Stewart has been really funny, but we were also kind of like looking at Mr. Stewart and thinking he looks uncomfortable. He's shifting. He's uncomfortable. He looks like he's morally outraged by the whole thing. But actually, also he looks like he's sort of secretly enjoying it. You know, like if you imagine Marilyn at night putting on Married at First Sight Australia and watching that, and Alf's at the kitchen table behind her trying to do the Coastal News crossword and going, "Flaming hell, I don't need to watch this." But secretly, he loves it, and he's not leaving the room. You know, he's not going upstairs to do his crossword. He's in the room, he's listening, and he's like commenting on all the things that are happening. Yeah, he's one of them. He'll pretend he's outraged by it, but secretly he's like, he needs the tea, doll.
Yes, he is, isn't he? He's like all our partners who say they don't want us to watch Home and Away.
Exactly. And then they go, "Oh, you know what I think?" And you're like, "You've been watching it?"
Yeah. They're getting all the names wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I get, you know her, Blondie? I'm like, which one? Which one's Blondie again? Oh, dear. Yes.
I mean, most of the characters have got three names to me. They've got their actual name, the name me and you have given them, and the name my partner's given them.
True. Yes. Yeah.
I know the kind, and I think you're right. I think Alf's the kind.
Yeah.
So he delivers the message that tells him to bring what's in the bag or something.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in the bag. She's like, yeah, get your kit off.
But
and
at
she
least,
is in
at
this.
least her expectation of him is not like put on this amazing dress and get all dressed up to the nines.
That's true.
She's just gone, just come in your undercrackers. I don't care. Like,
but even then, like, she looked smoking hot, right?
She did, but she can't not, can she? Let's be honest. It's Leah.
But like, he was like jumping her in his board shorts. I was like, what the hell?
That scene gave me the cringe. Yes. If I didn't know they were a couple in real life, I'd have been like, oh, there was no chemistry there.
Not feeling it, Tal.
Because there wasn't any chemistry. There was chemistry while they was talking, but then once they stopped talking, once he dived on her, I was like, oh no, the chemistry's gone immediately. Like it's like pouring a cold water over them immediately.
Do you think they ran these lines at home?
Definitely.
Do you think they were like, we need to do some rehearsal tonight, Tal?
That bra, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That black bra.
So, and it's stage directions. He enters the room.
too funny. I did enjoy it in a kind of.
Mm.
I don't know. What
Well,
it's voyeurism, isn't it?
like I say, they're not fighting, so
No, that's true. It's true. Yeah.
you know. Right, Holden is back. He's having a pop at Marley about him cancelling his surf lesson last week. This is interesting because I wasn't expecting this, to be honest, but it went quite bold here, the script, when Holden basically says he's being discriminated against. And I don't know under what grounds, but Marley is like, go on, report me to the ombudsman. See how that goes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, Marley. I mean, Marley can do, honestly, best character on the show. Somebody said that. I don't know who it was. Right.
Was it you?
I think it might be Mr. David.
It wasn't Mr. David.
And but he's definitely one of few who talk sense right now, right? I'll give you that. And I just didn't think he had this kind of fighting talk in him. Do you know what I mean? When someone surprises you because they've got a tongue, and it's like, why haven't you used that before?
I don't think I was surprised by that. That's how I see him, because he is a bit meh and angry.
Yeah, but what's different this time is he's using it for something that he's not just like in a mood. He's he's using it to protect. It's like protect state, isn't it? I quite like him in that protective role, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And he's looking out for Lacey.
Yeah. I think I get what you mean, because I think I said something like that last week, that this part of Marley usually pisses me off, but because he's using this part of his personality for good, I'm letting him off, because actually I'm like, this works.
And I think because Holden is such back shiver, Marley's basically our vehicle to say what we would want to say to Holden, isn't he? Now, and nobody else is doing it.
No.
To a lesser extent, like we've got Mr. Stewart on side, haven't we? Like,
that made me laugh.
Button in his iPhone.
He was like, if he comes back and you need backup, I was like, from an 80-year-old man.
And he I'm sorry, but Alf using his phone will never not be funny. He just sort of looks at it, presses it once, and then puts it to his ear.
Everything's on speed dial.
It takes someone like Alf at least 6 minutes to find the contacts. Anyway. So, because he's been listening to the whole thing, hasn't he, Alf? And he's clocked that Marley's not happy. And there's one thing that's been consistent here. It's Marley and we were praising this to high heaven when Marley first joined. Alf's taken him under his wing, and it's sort of like, it's a symbol, isn't it, of sort of this societal message. It's very, very sort of relevant to Australian society. Somebody like Alf and somebody like Marley being really close. Yeah. It's a really nice thing to see, and a really important relationship to have on TV.
Yeah.
And do you remember that smoking ceremony? How good was that?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
And everyone went mad for that. All the fans loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And this, I've forgotten all about it. And this week it reminded me that Alf's got his back. Do you know what I mean? And I thought that's really nice. He's not even asked questions. Do you know what I mean? He's like, you're one of us. Do you know, like,
yeah.
You're in this surf club with us, and we're going to look out. If you don't want him in your surf club, in the surf shop, then that's your call, mate, and we'll help you. You know, and I really liked that. Now, we later see Holden doing this whole grief guilt trick on Lacey that is becoming a repetitive thing. That I just want to slap the cow now that she's not even noticing it's happening. Yeah. Because at this point, the girl isn't thick. She should know this by now. She should know. And somebody, I think it might have been, I can't remember who it was now, on Twitter one night, I was reading the tweets. Someone was like, she's been in a manipulative relationship with a river boy. She's this girl ought to know now, like, the signs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
How is she allowing this to happen? Like, eventually this week she does, but I mean, only because he blatantly slips up. Like, before that, she's having a massive go at Marley, asking him to give him another chance. And Marley's like, I don't like the guy, and I don't think you should either. And yeah, it gives me the creeps, and I think you should stay away from him. She still doesn't listen, and I just want to bang her head against the wall at this point, Sophie. Oh,
Yes.
where are you at with this?
Well, I think you know my feelings about Holden. I didn't like him from like the
I know
minute
you
they
did have
crossed
it.
paths in the hospital. I was like, no, do not like him.
Mm.
Like he didn't bother me on the train. Like I think the whole train thing. I think Isaac was the one that was more creepy. You know what I mean? Like he was the one that was giving me the creeps. But then when he met her at the hospital, ever since that day, I've just been like, no, I do not like this guy. There's something about this guy that's shady, and I'm not feeling it. And yeah. Like, and I'm just glad because I do feel like Marley is me this week, which makes me uncomfortable because obviously, you know, I have reservations about him as a character, but I'm glad he's been there this week because that is the kind of person you need when this is going down. You need somebody that's, you know, objectively saying you need to be careful because it's really important. The people that when you get that gut feeling about someone and you know that there's something wrong about them, you have to listen to your gut because this is the kind of situation where if this escalates, it could be really, really devastating. If he is, you know, it's okay for Marley to get it wrong as well. If Marley's wrong about Holden and he isn't a big creep, that's okay. But if you think he is, it's worth telling your friend. It's worth reaching out and sort of saying, because it can be a life or death situation with people like him, unfortunately. And there's a lot of Netflix documentaries about guys like Holden, you know, where the family and the friends have warned the victim about this guy and said there's red flags and everything, and the victim's gone, oh no, he's fine, he's going through something, you know, he's got this thing going on and he's just going through something, and then he's, you know, it turns out to be a tragic thing that happens. So this is a really important, I think, really important sort of storyline, and a really important part that Marley's playing in this, in that he's obviously concerned about Lacey, he's friends with her, he's her employer, but he's also not letting it slide, and he's not telling her, okay, you know him better than me. He's not doing that. The whole, you know him better than me, so
Sticking to his guns, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going, you're wrong. I'm sorry. You should get away from this guy. I've warned you. You know, I think it's really important.
Yeah, I think you're right. And thanks for that comparison and saying that on here as well, because there might be someone here listening that needed to hear that.
Yeah.
And needed to be grounded in that this has happened in real life, and we've seen the story. Like, I mean, you mentioned Netflix stuff, but like we've seen the stories in the news. We've seen this happen.
Yeah.
You know, where people have ignored the signs. They've been blinded by it. Blinded by love, as they say.
And he's really good at having an explanation. And this is, unfortunately, with guys like this, there's a pattern. There's a pattern to them, and you know they get caught out, and they've got a lie ready. You know, and he'll go, "Oh, you know, I think the grief's really affected me, and I think it's changed me in ways that I didn't anticipate," and blah blah blah.
Yeah, stops her questioning straight away, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's all BS because he's saying that on, you know, to her face, and then she's distracted, and while she's distracted, he's taking a picture of the roster, you know, the phone numbers and everything. So. And she's fallen for it because it's a reasonable suggestion for him to say, oh, my head's not in the right space at the moment, I'm saying things I don't mean because I'm grieving, and that's genuine. Like, this is why it's so difficult when you're in that situation, because that's that, and she knows that because she's been grieving herself. She knows that your brain plays tricks on you when you're grieving, and you think weird things and you say things you don't mean and whatever. But he's using that in a way. I mean, this guy doesn't look bothered by his dead mate at all to me.
No. I'm actually questioning how much he actually knew him.
Yeah.
Whether he just met him at that platform party that night. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you know, the more this trundles on, I'm like, did he even know him that well?
Yeah.
What you talk about him taking the photo of the thing, and he texts everybody, doesn't he? Sort of basically tries to harm Marley's business, right? What do you think he thought he was going to get out of that? Because I've been struggling to think, short of just acting out like a child because Marley's on to him. Like, what else does he think he's going to achieve by doing that? Like, if he's trying to damage Marley's business and reputation, he's gonna. Could he then think, oh, I'm going to put Lacey out of work? Then she'll have more time to spend with me. Like, what's his line of thought there? Do you think?
That's a good question, because I actually don't really know how he thought he'd get away with that, to be honest, because I thought it was really, really stupid, because, when everyone doesn't turn up to the lesson and you're expecting them, Marley did the thing that you expect would happen, is that he rang people and said, why didn't you turn up to your lesson? And they said, oh, we got a text message saying it wasn't on. And then, oh, hang on, where did this text message come from? It's really easy to work out how this happened and why. It's so uncoverable. It's not like he was even trying to cover up his tracks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, did he really think he could get away with it by just going, it wasn't me?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, does he? I wonder if he thinks he's cleverer than he is.
Than he actually is, yeah.
Because that made no sense to me. I was like, this is the dumbest thing he's done so far, because it's so easy to unpick this and work out who it was.
And or is it just a plain old-fashioned cock measuring contest?
Yeah, could be.
With Marley.
It could be.
And like we're trying to pick it apart when actually it is just a plain straight old. You've pissed me off, so I'm going to piss you off.
I think it is, because I don't think this Holden guy's that smart. I think he believes he's clever, but I don't think he's that clever. And like from last week, his kind of thought patterns with Marley, he's so jealous of anybody that's got time, because he can't get Lacey on her own. He's saying, oh, let's do this and let's do that. And she's like, oh, I'm going to go home, I'm tired, or I'm just, I'm working or whatever. She's constantly like putting him at one arm's length. And he's trying to find a way in to spend time with her. Like, I'll book a surf lesson. And then he's going, oh, she doesn't teach them, so I failed there. So then, all he can do then is get jealous of people that are within her orbit, which is Marley. So then last week he was like, oh, you and your boss are having a thing. You and your boss, because he doesn't really believe that, but he's jealous of Marley because Marley gets to spend all day with her and he doesn't. That's what it is. It's all come down to the fact that he just wants to be near her and he doesn't want anyone else to be. He wants to isolate her from... Yeah, so it could be that he wants her to lose her job, because then if something tragic happens to her, he can be the shoulder to lean on, can't he? And
yeah. Well, let's face it. What's Dad doing right now?
Well, yeah, there is that. Yeah.
So this is again how this thing is going to work. Like you say, separate from. He's over there preoccupied with his other daughter, wondering what she's and who she's up to. He's proper dropped the ball as Sarge here.
He has, and do you know what's interesting is that nobody else has gone to Sarge. So Marley and Alf know that this Holden fella's a creep and that he's sniffing around, Lacey, and that she's not listening. And neither of them have gone. And Alf has got a good sort of friendly relationship with David Sarge. He could go to him and say, do you know about this fella that's hanging around the surf club and like leering over your daughter? That's a conversation they could have. I mean, maybe it's coming, but...
Does seem to be a long time coming though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Because Sarge just feels completely, totally out of this and oblivious.
Yeah, and maybe even a heads up to anybody that works at the police station. This fella's hanging around the club and he's harassing people and we've got a bad feeling about him. Is there anything that you know about him? I don't know. I don't know whether Australia has, like, we have this thing in the UK called Clare's Law, where you can go to the police and you can basically get information. If you're in a relationship or starting a relationship with a man, you can go to a police station and like ask for information under Clare's Law, and it basically tells you if the person that you're dating has ever been spoken to by the police for, assault or any kind of crime against a woman that you would need to know about if you're in a relationship with a man. And I don't know whether they have that in Australia as well, because I think I don't think people like Holden turn out like this overnight. I think there's probably a pattern where they end up like this eventually.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
probably got history of, somebody stalking someone or harassing someone, or and whether he is on the radar, a police radar at any point.
Interesting. Well, Cash won't be able to find out.
Well, that's true. He's lost his access to
It's
the
quite a few
database.
ducks lining up here, isn't there?
Yeah.
When you think about it.
How long is he going to go?
Database.
The database.
I've just realised what you said.
He did call it a database, didn't he?
Yeah, they always say data.
Database. The
Data.
database. It
Data.
sounds. It's very posh. Database. I feel like when I say database, I feel like Joanna Lumley.
Yeah. No, don't say it. Don't say the G word. Yes. So, agreed. I think there are people with their eyes off the ball. And I think this is Home and Away. It's going to escalate, isn't it? And I think it's going to end up. It's going to involve Marley. It's going to involve potentially Mr. Stewart. It's definitely going to involve Lacey and this Holden fella. But the guy, there's a lot of people who are not around for her, and it's weird. Weird. And so Marley ends up being the shining light because he's the only person seeing what we can see.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So he ends up being our voice.
What do you think's going to happen next? What do you think Holden's going to do now?
The only thing I can see this happening is, I'm thinking of my history with Home and Away, is that he's going to attempt to more and more time with her, and he's going to attempt to physically lock her somewhere, and be like, you need to be with me,
Because she's told him to rack off, hasn't she now? Because he's basically...
which is going to wind him up. It's going to set him off, innit?
Yeah.
What do you think?
He kind of undid himself, didn't he? Because she was like, oh, it was you. And he didn't really deny it once she kind of had the proof. She was like, oh, get lost. I don't want to see you again. And, he wasn't then saying, oh, it was the grief, or, oh, it wasn't me. He's kind of been caught out, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's sort of, his pants are his kecks at that point, weren't they?
And I think that's going to wind him up. I think he's going to be really angry about the fact that he's been caught out. But I don't know whether he's going to take that out on Marley or take that out on Lacey.
Maybe. We'll find out in First Look tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Oh, I can't wait for that. Yes. Right, Si. You ready? Your say on the bay.
My say on the bay.
No. But yes, but kind of. I do want to hear. I do want to hear your opinion actually, because we do have a lot to unpack on your say on the bay this week. So I do need your help. I do need your say.
I love a lot of packing.
Yes, we like to.
She's packing, ladies and shit.
The word on the street. Oh my god! Yes, it's true.
Sorry.
This is fine. It's fine. But this is the part of the pod. For those of you that are confused right now, I'm sorry. But this is part of the pod where we want to hear from you guys. So you've just sat through probably an hour and 20 odd minutes of us talking about what we think of everything that's happening on Home and Away at the moment. But we like to hear from you guys as well. So if you want to get in touch and tell us your thoughts and everything else that you've thought of this week to do with Home and Away that you've been watching so far, go to coastalnewspod.com, navigate your way to the Your Say on the Bay section. There's a form there where you can put your name and you can type all your thoughts into the box and tell us what you think about all the storylines that are currently happening on Home and Away. And that will get pinged to us, and we can read that out, can't we, on this section of the podcast next week. And also just a quick reminder before we talk about your thoughts, we are on social media ourselves as well. So if you search for us, Coastal News Podcast, at Coastal News Pod, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, all of those, all of the above, we're on there. And we also tweet along live while we watch the show. So between 6:30 and 7, Monday to Friday in the UK, we watch the show on 5 Star, and we like to jump on X, Twitter, whatever you're calling it, and we use the Home and Away UK hashtag, and we talk about what's happening on the show as we're watching it. And lots of people join in that discussion as well, and it's a good laugh. So if you can't commit to filling the form in, but you are watching the show and you want to have a little, download of your brain and all your thoughts, you can jump on the hashtag on Twitter and talk about it on there with us as well. It's good fun. It's good fun.
See you there.
See you there. Yes. And we do have some forms. So some people have gone to the coastalnewspod.com website and typed in their thoughts, which we do appreciate. Thank you very much. And the first person that's contacted us is called Liam. I don't think we've heard from Liam before.
Hello, Liam.
Hello,
Welcome.
Liam. That is a new
Thank you for
name.
getting in touch.
Thank you. Yes, unless you've contacted us before and we've forgotten, I apologise, but I think you are a new contactor. So thank you for getting in touch with us. It's lovely to hear from you. And Liam says, "Hi, Si and Sophie, a big fan of your podcast here." Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you enjoy it.
It's nice to hear. It's weird for us because we're like, why?
We are really bad at this bit. Thank you.
Why do they want to hear us rambling on about Aussie soap? But it's so nice to hear that. So thank you. And Liam says it always cheers me up after a busy week at work. Well,
I'm so glad.
Anything to get you through,
I know.
the come down from the work week into the weekend.
It works for us. It gets us. We're all in this together.
Yeah,
Liam.
definitely. Yeah. Definitely. But unfortunately, Liam then says after saying, this is the highlight of the end of the work week. He says, "I wish I could say the same for Home and Away," which I'm sad to say I'm on the cusp of ending my 30-odd year relationship with.
Pause for dramatic effect there. We've gasped.
We have. I feel like we've now ticked over into agony art. This is not Your Son the Bay. This is a relationship crisis now. That we have to be very careful.
Not enjoying things. Come on, we not enjoying.
Not enjoying. Right. So let's unpack why Liam is not enjoying the show that much anymore. So it says, "It's just no longer anything resembling the show I used to love. And Irene's departure last year has left me hanging on by a thread." Oh, that sounds dramatic and terrible. Okay. Let's carry on and then we'll start to think. "I really loved your guest spot on Pop Goes the Tam Tam side, discussing the past glories of Marilyn." There we go. Somebody's listened to it.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
It is a really good episode. Can we just say that if those of you listening right now haven't heard this, we do collaborate with Tamsin from Pop Goes the Tam Tam podcast. You've done it a few times with Home and Away. We've had Tamsin on our podcast talking about Home and Away. I've done Tamsin's podcast talking about Hollyoaks as well. And it is a really, really good podcast if you love TV and film, and it's really good sort of nostalgic stuff as well as current topics as well, isn't it, in terms of film and TV. So if you haven't heard that episode of Pop Goes the Tam Tam with Si and Tamsin talking about everything to do with Marilyn, please go and listen to it because it is really, really good. And I think you guys, she's such a complex character and there's so much to unpack about her history, but you did it in a way that was really, really fun. And
bless you.
I think it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it, and I am probably a bit biased because I love both of you anyway. But it was a really good episode. If you guys love Home and Away, so check it out.
Thank you. I suppose. Thank you for listening, Sophie. So weird, isn't it? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Tamsin asked me, she's doing this series where she's doing character deep dives of TV characters, and I was like, my favourite character on Home and Away is Marilyn. So of course, it just came natural, and I just started. I think I chewed her ear off a lot. But it's interesting that having listened to it, Liam we've sort of reminded Liam of the Marilyn that once was, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, that's what's happened. So Liam says it's made me really sad because it brought back.
Oh no!
I don't know. It's horrible to read, really, but it's like it's really good to hear this kind of feedback. So he says it's brought back to home for me how utterly neglected Marilyn is as a character on the current version of the show that we've got. when the last time we really saw her do anything other than hand one of the boring young characters a coffee in the diner or ask them how they're doing after the last crisis was, that stuff with her daughter, a few years back.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've listening to that podcast where you've done that deep dive about Marilyn's character. You've covered loads of her history because she has got a hugely complex history, loads of big storylines in Marilyn's past, and the retcon that we saw recently. And I guess a lot of people will feel the same way. That now, maybe if you come to the show right now when you're a new viewer, you won't know that Marilyn
That's true.
was more than just a diner, coffee maker.
Yeah, slave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. I think we have to address that with and this is something that comes up time and time again, right? How underused Marilyn is and how strongly people feel about it because she is a fan favorite character, but also Emily's bloody magnificent. Like, I think with someone, I can't remember who it was, a friend was saying that the show was sleeping on her, really. Yeah, she had this. I mean, that story with Heather, love it or loathe it. I mean, Marilyn she didn't stop for that year.
No.
She had the stunning organic stuff, but that was a few years ago now, and I know, when you're on a soap like this, the cast is so small. Just she has been in that background a lot.
Yeah.
She does need something, doesn't she, really? And it's
Yeah.
not just a token. I mean, she collapsed in the diner the other week and nothing's come of it.
No, and in fact, she collapsed in the diner because she was running it single-handedly, and then it was completely glossed over when she was made manager, and Leah was planning to go to Cyprus for 6 months
Yeah.
and leave Marilyn to run the show on her own, completely glossing over the fact that she ruined her health over it recently,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit
Yeah,
weird.
you're right. It is weird. She is complete afterthought, isn't she? It
Yeah.
feels when it comes to things. And it's okay to not be at the front of everything all the time. That's okay. And it's okay on a show that is aimed at a certain demographic. It's okay that I think most of us watching understand that younger people get all the action, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't write well and you can't give the other
No.
characters, the supporting characters, some good stuff.
Yes.
I mean, they do it with John. I mean, none of us are saying this about John,
Mm.
for example. And we've talked about John being able to transcend the sort of age divide really well. I think Marilyn can do that so easy.
Yes.
She's another one that's could easily do that.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because I would say John doesn't have a storyline of his own. I would say that he is a supporting character in other people's major storylines.
Yeah.
But because he is on screen and he does more than just bumble around the surf club, we don't scrutinise him as much as we scrutinise Marilyn because he does have more screen time. So that's interesting. But also, what I found interesting in the last week or so is this actually because Emily doesn't want more?
Well,
because we've now that Leah hasn't gone to Cyprus, she's had that conversation with Marilyn. It was a very blink and miss it conversation where she said, "Do you want me to, go back on my offer of you being manager?" And Marilyn was relieved and she's like, "Yes, please. I don't want to do this." So the manager thing has now been taken off the table. Did you notice that? Did you?
Yeah. She's now not a manager.
And we've been told at home that Marilyn is now not as crucial to the diner. I mean, we know she is, but she's obviously not getting this promotion anymore. So is that telling us at home not to expect her to have?
Yeah, could have. Yeah, it could be actually.
I don't know. I wonder whether this is not really a Marilyn thing and actually it's more of an Emily thing.
Well, she's got a son, hasn't she? And we don't, people.
Yeah.
I mean, the logistics of making a soap happen honestly, the mind boggles.
Especially
You
this
know.
one, where it's so like they don't even know if they're scheduled in for next week. This week, they know they get given
Yeah.
their script and then they go, "Oh, I'm in on Tuesday." Right, okay.
Location filming's an hour and a half drive away.
It's
You know.
mad. I find that mind blowing that they can't even plan a haircut because they don't know when they're going to
Yeah.
be on
Yeah.
set.
Yeah. So whether Marilyn as a character is suffering from commitments in Emily's
Yes, Emily's own
life, yeah, is
schedule.
what you
Yeah,
mean. Yeah.
yeah.
Very well could be. We'll never find out that out, though,
We
will we? But
won't, but I
mm,
did. I made a note of it because we were told
mm,
specifically that she was the promotion that she was offered has now been taken away from her, and I thought, is this telling us not to expect more Marilyn?
not to. Yeah. Well done, you. Blanking heck. Anyone would think you've got a podcast to do about this.
Sometimes I pay attention, you know. Sometimes
Mm,
there is a brain up there somewhere. I don't. It's hard to find. I will admit, but yeah. Sometimes
don't knock yourself down.
I remember stuff sometimes. Yeah, it just stuck out because I thought it was a really weird scene that
Yeah.
Leah was saying, "Do you want me to take the promotion off you?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, please."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that was weird.
Interesting.
That was weird. That
Mm,
was for our benefit because it was
mm.
why have that scene? It's just a weird thing to say." But anyway, yeah, I don't know. That was my take on it. I don't know what you guys think out there, but that's my take on it. Should we talk about Liam and his crisis?
Yes. Let's go back
Oh,
to Liam.
I
Yeah.
feel really bad for this guy. Right, so Liam says, I think it's a scandal that it's been allowed to get to this stage. I understand the view that the show has to shapeshift. Can't get my words out.
Mm.
Shapeshift with the times, and I can get on board with with that change to an extent. But Marilyn has been one of the biggest victims of the way that it has gone. She is now no more than a sounding board for Justin and Leah and the interchangeable roster of 20-somethings, if that, and she deserves so much better. Really strong views
Mm.
on Maz here.
I think yeah, he's worded that strongly, but I think he's right. You know,
Yeah.
she is a character that, given all the stuff that I went through on the other podcast available now on all good podcast apps, she's got this level of complexity to her. She isn't getting the material at the minute, and you can't really say anything other than that, can you? You know, whether that is as a result of the way the show has gone,
Yeah.
or other reasons that we've just outlined for the last 20 minutes. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
never know, really, will we? Yeah.
No, I don't. I think we got as close an explanation as we'll ever get this week.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. We've either got to accept it, get on board, or, you know, as Liam says, time to off. But I mean, it'd be a shame. 30 odd years when you've invested so long in something.
It's a marriage.
It is, and to get to that point though means that there's enough that is not hooking you. And I think sometimes Home and Away, I mean, all soaps are like this. The ebb and flow. Everyone talks about it, but I'm gonna talk about EastEnders for a minute because I've been watching a little bit recently. There's no hook. So there might be all these interesting stories going on, you know, just like in Home and Away. That there's, you know, there's someone battling a brain tumor. There's a man who's being framed by his druggy whatever. There's a paternity, weird family dynamic going on, you know, co-parenting, how do we make that happen going on over there? You know, my friend's got a creep following her and I'm going to stick up for her happening there. You know, there's interesting stories, but what's the hook? Do you know what I mean? And EastEnders is a bit like that to me. I never watch it, but casually sometimes catch it. I tune in and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's happening. That's happening. That's happening. But where's the hook to make me come back as the casual viewer?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think, and if all this stuff that's going on in Home and Away right now is all great and we love it and we're really into it, it's got all this depth and blah 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 blah. But if there was this big mystery hook, or you know, there was something, it just needs that to keep people invested in everything else.
Yes.
in my opinion.
I can see that. Yeah, that's
Mm.
a very good way of putting it as well. Yeah. And where do we go
Because
from here?
unless you're interested in Tane's freedom, what you know.
I'm interested in Tane having a lack of freedom. I think that's why.
and, and reading between Liam's lines
Yeah.
thus far, you know, he's bought into that nostalgia of the old characters, right? And he wants more of that. And I don't think that's a bad opinion to have,
No.
because naturally the older actors end up being supporting actors, but that doesn't mean they can't do anything.
Yes, and I think that's the point, isn't it? We've lost
Mm.
Irene, which obviously for
Mm.
Liam is a massive, massive thing, and
Has really affected his
has
enjoyment. Yeah.
yeah, it's changed his viewing of the show. And now I think Marilyn's obviously a very big character for Liam as well, and Marilyn's not being utilized
Yeah.
enough. So to have two massive characters that you've watched for 30 years not be that involved in the show, and maybe Liam's not, I mean, we'll come on to the rest of his comments in a moment, but maybe
Sorry. Yeah.
Liam's not as keen on the newer characters. You know, if you're not enjoying the newer ones and the older ones are not really there, you will question, why am I still watching this show if
Yeah,
they're
of
not?
course.
Yeah,
Natural, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
And this is what happens when you fail to plan,
Mm,
because we've had this chasm between the old cast and the young cast for years, and there's only really Justin, you could
mm,
say, has
mm.
sort of come in and then
Yeah.
morphed across that line.
And I think a lot of that is to do with Leah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's
I think you're right.
association. Justin
Yeah.
Justin has lived as long as he's lived, which is ironic, really, because he's married to the Black Widow.
Yeah.
But he
You're
has
right.
lived. He's lived on the show as long as he
Mm.
has, and he's been accepted as a legacy character because he's shacked up with Leah, and
I think you're right.
Leah
Yeah.
is lumped in with the Marilyn Irene Alf.
Yeah,
Like,
even though she's 20 years, she's years younger than them.
she is younger, but she's been on the show for that long
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
argue, back in the day when she was like, you know, turning up to the bay because she'd run away from her wedding, and she
Mm.
was hitchhiking to the bay, and she got a lift with Vinny, and Vinny couldn't stand her. That's decades ago when you think about it. She's been on the show
Yeah.
for a long time. I've grown up with
Yeah.
Leah, and I'm nearly as old as her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's been on it
No,
a
you're
long.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Justin's Morgan days feel like a lifetime ago.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
His association to Leah has kept him alive, which is hilarious because
yeah, we were all buying black hats.
I'm still waiting for him to die. I'm still expecting it. The minute them two are really, really happy, it will happen. But there we go. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to Liam. So Liam's obviously talking about Marilyn and how she's one of the biggest victims in terms of not being utilized. But he says like she deserves so much better. But also he says Alf and Rue and John also deserve better. We need to stop sidelining the older characters, bring them into the new generation of family, for them so they can play an active part of the drama. So Liam's next point is we need intergenerational families again, like every other soap does, whether that's foster families or birth families or whatever, but just something other than these houses full of cookie cutter young adults.
Well, we've tried fostering, and she turned out to be a nutter.
Well, that's true. Yeah, poor Rue. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if no, I'm sorry, that was a flippant comment, but it did happen. But yeah. If that's what you want to see, Liam, yeah.
We did have the successful fostering storyline, didn't we? Because that's where Rue is supposed to be now, isn't she? She went off on a journey somewhere to go and meet the foster kid that turned out to be good and ended up being reunited with Dad, and now she's gone to see Martha. I mean, we haven't seen her for weeks, have we? So
No.
don't really know
But
where Rue is
again,
right now.
it's an actress thing, isn't it? It's a timing thing. It's
Yeah.
not going to work full term. But I think having the fostering back was that appeasement piece, wasn't it?
But I'm I'm not sure.
for the
And
older fans.
it would be interesting to hear what Liam's thoughts were on the fostering storyline, because he hasn't mentioned his thoughts about what Rue and everything else. But with the Rue fostering, I don't know about you, but I was noticing a lot of the people that were screaming for fostering, screaming for kids in the bay, weren't enjoying Eliza and weren't enjoying, I've forgotten the name of the kid that was the second one. They weren't enjoying the fostering storylines because they thought Eliza was too far fetched and evil, and they wanted a nice, easy,
They weren't
quiet.
like that back. Yeah, but they weren't like that back in the day
They
either.
weren't, but I think this is where I struggle, because sometimes I feel like I watched a different show, and people go, I miss fostering and I miss the family and I miss the the happiness, and I'm like, when was the happiness? When did that happen? Because I missed that episode. Because when I think about Home and Away of old with the foster kids, I think of the fights at school and the you dag, you scrag, you this, you that, the other. I think of the cults and the drugs and the car stealing and the tearaways and the anger and the, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't remember this nice family that all sat around the table eating dinner and then put the laundry on the line together. I don't remember that. But maybe I'm misremembering, or maybe they are. I don't know.
I think there's a bit of nostalgia associated. I don't want to say rose tinted, but that nostalgia is really strong, isn't it? And I think in our own lives, life back then was better.
Yes.
And I think we associate. I mean, when you come to such a long running show like this, that period where you fell in love with it and you sort of grow your relationship with the show and the characters is that strongest in your memory.
Mm.
And I think change is difficult, and I think I think if you get into a space where you are comparing all the time, you're going to feel disenfranchised, aren't you? Whereas the show today, if I was coming of age, arriving at the show now, these people like Tana would be my ride and die. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's difficult when there are a lot of characters on the show that have a lot of the space, but you don't connect to them on a personal level.
Yes.
You connect to the characters that you did when you first got here years ago. And I think that's what it is, isn't it? And I think that's where the attachment to the show comes from. And I guess that's where the distance grows, because you are not given that same level of attachment to there's a handful of people that are here now that were there then.
Yeah.
And I think this sounds brutal, but the way the show, unless you're into these new characters, the show, do they care about that you're watching? Do they want you watching? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the message here coming out of the show?
Yeah.
Like, they might not want us codgers watching it, saying, "Where's Carly?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
Mm.
Yeah. Who's the target audience, I guess, for the show now? Who are they trying to get on board? Who are they trying to make watch this show? Is it us?
I spoke about this a little bit online a few weeks ago. I'm really sorry because I'm conscious how long it's taken to read Liam's email, and we'll move on in a minute very quickly.
I think
But
Liam's
talking
email is
about
really
Irene's-
interesting, though, and I think it's a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. So.
And it's something it's a conversation and a debate that has rumbled on in the Home and Away fandom, hasn't it? And it's always fascinating. It's really nice that people think differently and they think different things, and this is the way he's feeling, and I'm really grateful that he's got in touch because it's got us talking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was talking about, we recently went to see Irene doing her tour, didn't we? Her farewell tour.
Yeah.
She came over to the UK. Thank you very much, Lynn. And I mentioned a few bits on the internet that caused a bit of comments, but there we go.
Oh.
But she was talking about it was brought up to her, like, where's the school, where are the kids, like, where's the, the different age groups. We need some kids on the show. And she was saying they did a focus group, like they do a couple of times a year, every year, and nobody wants to see it.
Mm.
And this is obviously in Australia, but
Mm.
like, that's the biggest audience for the show. It's hitting the ratings. It's black, I mean, all you see all the time on the news is how, the ratings are huge.
Mm.
Biggest show on 7plus. It's, biggest of the night outside of the news. Like, that's what the biggest audience of the show wants to watch.
Yeah. And I do remember a story. I don't know if she
They're
told
going to
it
cater for that.
because we went to different ones with Lynn, didn't we? And the one I went to, she actually said it's very rare, but on occasion when they've had problems with the cast members on set and they've had to get rid of a cast member quicker than they've wanted to because they've not been able to
behaviors or
adapt.
whatever.
Yeah, because it's such a fast turnaround. The show is filmed so quickly, it's edited so quickly. You need to be professional, you need to be on it. There's no messing around, there's no room for error. You have to come in, do your lines and go. It's got to be really quick, and it's got if there's somebody out of line, if there's one cog out of line, the whole thing just goes to crap. And she was saying the only problems we've ever had, and luckily it's been rare, has been with the younger cast members, because they come into a show, they don't know they've not got an experience, they've come from drama school or whatever. They've not had any experience in the business before. They're expected to jump in and do what the legacy characters have been doing for years, and they struggle. And they've had problems because they've not been able to get on board, or they've been late, or they've not learnt the lines, or they've caused a scene on set, or you know what I mean, like they've been unreliable in some way because they've not got enough experience under the belt. And for this show, it relies on people being professional and knowing what they're doing and coming on set and just banging the scene out. And we saw it when we were there. We watched them filming the show, and yes, they do a bit of rehearsal, but it's actually really quick, isn't it? They film the scene and then it's gone. And on to the next one because the way that it's filmed is so fast.
Yeah. Chuck the camera in the back of a van,
and maybe
it's like, whoa.
And maybe that is part and parcel the reason why. Maybe it's not just the demographic, and maybe it's not just what the audience want, but maybe it's just how the show is, put together. I guess it doesn't cater to newbies coming from drama school that haven't got that experience under their belt, and they don't have the luxury of time to let them get their feet under the table. They need them to hit the ground running. And maybe they've made that decision to keep this show, keep all the cogs moving. We've got to have people that come in and
fresh faces,
hit the ground running and know what they're doing. And maybe that's another part of it. I don't know.
Maybe. And then we could go on, like, young pretty faces. They go on the magazines, don't they? And they sell this and they sell that, and brand deals, and there's the whole. It's a mad world nowadays. And I think if you were a cutesy show, I mean, this show never was that anyway. I think like you say, some people misremember that, but I take Liam's point in that he wants to see an age, he wants to see a range, that represents everybody, and that's what he wants to see. We can't take that away from him. But yeah, do stay with us, Liam. I would say, because if you're a fan, if you've watched soaps and more than the one soap, there's periods in time where you're not feeling the stuff that's happening, and then you get into something again, and then suddenly it reignites you. It's normal, I would say, that you're going through a phase where you're like, do I carry on? I think when you've watched something so long for such a long period of time, I think it's really normal to feel like that.
Yeah.
If the characters on the show just are not connecting with you at this moment in time, the storylines don't really resonate with you, and the characters that do are doing nothing but making coffee. It's normal to feel that way,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
But I guess the one thing soap teaches us is that it never stays like that forever.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Storylines move really fast on Home and Away, and if you're not enjoying the current storylines, give it 4 months, 4 weeks even, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and something else will kick off, and hopefully that will entertain you more.
Yeah.
I feel like 2026 we are possibly in one of those change years where some of the casts might be going. We've had quite a few cast members leave in the recent times.
We've had 1 death a month thus far.
Exactly. I do feel like there's a possible sea change on the way. I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but there's a lot of contracts that are due to either be renewed or not renewed, which means we could possibly see more people leaving, more people coming in. And obviously with Irene going, we've got a bit more budget freed up. So yeah, I don't know.
And we've got this huge Brax thing coming that everyone's talking about, which is a returnee character. Now, look, we've been here long enough now talking about this, but to some people, Brax doesn't represent classic, but he is a classic Home and Away character, whether you like him or not. And I did that when I talk about a hook, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes. And so, it's only a week, so if it's not your thing, if the Riverboy stuff isn't your thing, it's only a week. You only have to switch off for a week.
I tell you what, though, it looks like the Tana story is linked with it. And
yes,
it is interesting how. I mean, you and I have started theorising. But, I mean, when I remember thinking this about, what was the copper called who killed his stepdad? Oh, God, who's going to book me?
Oh, Colby.
Bella's brother. Colby. When that was unfolded, we didn't have the podcast at the time, but when that was unfolding, I remember thinking, oh, I don't really like this guy, and and this is a bit weird, but it was only after it was all done, and I looked back at his arc, and I thought, oh, God, that was a pretty wild story.
It was. It was mad.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
and I think
her story was wilder. Like the way that Bella grew up in like middle of nowhere with a dad and no school.
Yeah,
couldn't read and
didn't know her ABCs.
What?
Yeah. But it's only after the event you think, oh my God, when you actually start reflecting on it. I think this is going to be like that. When you're in the thick of it, you're like, oh, for God's sake. But I think like wife dies, goes off the rails, ends up with a baby he never planned, life he didn't want, loads of trouble there. Her family's got stuff going on. It winds him up in jail. He goes on the run to try and fight for his freedom. It's gonna be one of those stories, and it ends up leading us back somehow. God knows how.
God knows
to one of the most infamous characters ever to grace the shores. It's going to be one of those, isn't it? Where when you reflect on it, you're like, okay, yeah, that was pretty mad.
Pretty insane. Yeah, looking back, when you explain the story arc to someone who doesn't watch the show, it sounds insane. Let's be honest. So yeah, it's going to be one of them. Yes. Should we go back to Liam?
Yeah, I thought we were done.
No, we're only about halfway through.
Right, let's just read it and then we'll comment afterwards.
We're only about halfway. So, Liam says, I understand the teen characters can't be the main focus in the modern show, given the shifting age of the audience, which is what we just talked about. But even from the perspective of viewers who are now parent age, have teens of their own, I think having even 2 or 3 on the cast would round things out and open the door for different types of storytelling. We agree, but for the reasons we've outlined, we think that there's reasons why they haven't gone down that route, don't we?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, not against it, but I think we're of more acceptance, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, it's you have to go through the denial, anger. Yeah. I think you might be at the anger stage, Liam. You get to the acceptance stage eventually.
Yeah, we were there.
We
Yeah.
were there. You get there eventually.
Mm.
Just stick it out. And then open the
If
door.
not, just to hang out with us on a weekend. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I know what we're talking about.
We're a laugh, aren't we? I think sometimes. Anyway,
People keep saying it. I don't know, at us.
don't know.
Sorry, actually, come on. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, let me carry on. He just says he's getting a bit fed up of the limping on, the boring romances, the police raids, villains, and people landing up in hospital. I mean, I have to disagree with you there, Liam, because I need the police raids, I need the villains, and I need the hospital drama because okay, I admit I'm a bit of a sadist, and I need. It's like you know when you used to play The Sims. I think you and I have talked about this, sorry, many times. But I enjoyed playing The Sims from the point of view of torturing the Sims characters. I didn't want them to be happy, and I feel the same with Home and Away. I want to take the stairs away. I want them to drown in the pool. I want them to be miserable. I want them to be stalked. I want them to be injured. I want them to get murdered. I want them to get framed by their mother-in-law. I want them to go on a drugs binge. I want them to be an alcoholic and fall down the stairs. I want to see the drama. And if they were all happy all the time, I would be in Liam's situation where I'd be turning the TV off at that point because I don't want to see it. So
different
I think
strokes for different folks.
and that's what's interesting. So Liam is saying, I find this, contrived and boring and whatever, but I actually need the drama. And if it was all just happy, clappy families going to school and putting the washing out, I would not watch the show. I'll be honest. I would be turning off. But there we go. So it's interesting. Liam's next point is, he says all the characters are heteronormative. So where are the LGBTQ characters? It's bland. I don't want to stop watching, but I think there might be some more interesting characters they could introduce that might convince me to stay watching, is what he's saying. So there's quite a lot to unpack with Liam's message. He kind of understands the show has got to change, but also he's harking for that kind of nostalgic Home and Away that we all remember.
Yeah. And as I say, that's what he's attached to. And you do. It's a process, isn't it? And it has changed a lot, and that's okay if it's changed so much for you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is habitual.
Yes.
When you've watched something for 30 years.
Yeah.
Representation is a constant one, isn't it? There are so many things we could do better with LGBTQ representation.
Yes.
And I have actually discussed this before. Was that also on a Pop Goes the Tam Tam, actually?
It might have been. I know you and I have talked about it a lot, and
when it comes up,
we would love to see this. We would love to see some LGBTQ representation on the show. But I think you and I are from the point of view. I think we've agreed on this. If it feels like it's box ticking,
don't want it.
If it feels like we need a gay character for the sake of having a gay character, we are not interested in that because we want it to be authentic. We want to enjoy the storyline and it to feel like it's not just another gay storyline. I watch Hollyoaks. I love Hollyoaks because it's, oh my god, it's so OTT and I need the escapism, I'll be honest. But sometimes with Hollyoaks, I'm like, are we doing this just to tick another box, or are we doing this because it's a good storyline? And there's a fine line between the two. And I can tell when it's not authentic, and I don't enjoy it when it's not authentic. And when it is a genuinely good, like the Brendan and Steve stuff, oh my god, I was absolutely. I'm still not over that storyline. I still want to watch that storyline over and over again. But then there's been other people with Steve where it feels like it's a bit salacious, it's a bit box ticking, it's a bit, we need this guy because he's gay, he's got to have a boyfriend. And I've been like, I'm not into it. And it doesn't feel authentic. It feels box ticky. And I think you and I have discussed that before, haven't we? That if a storyline comes along and it's an interesting storyline and not just to go, oh, look, we've got a gay character. You know what I mean? There's a difference, isn't there?
There is, especially in a sort of rural backwater where There's nobody lives, you know. It would be different if it was set in a more urban setting, but it's not. So I think there is a way that the show could do it
Yeah.
that is authentic. And I actually believe if it was me and I was tasked with this task, I don't know if I've shared this yet, I would make it an older
Ooh,
character.
interesting.
That, you know, like, why has it always got to be a young person exploring their
That's true.
feeling, you know?
Yes.
So I would make it an older, more established person who would live in a community like this, you know, who would be found out in the rural beaches, you know. Yeah, and the sort of integrate, you know, and that's what I would do. And then it has to feel right, you know, not just throwing somebody in there for a few weeks.
Yes.
Say we've done it, and then they're off or dead.
Yeah.
You know, like that would be the worst now. But I agree. It's 2026. We've got to represent people that are watching the show.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
people need to see themselves on screen.
Yes.
So yeah. But I would tell that story a little late, and it's an older character again, you know, that's actually got something to do.
That would be interesting because it would be authentically because they are a little bit older, they're a bit more sort of settled in their own skin, know who they are.
Yeah, they
Unapologetically
believably
themselves.
have the money to live in this kind of community.
That's
because it's
true.
expensive.
Yeah.
They might be well on in their career. And they come, you know, that's what I would do.
That's interesting. Yeah, that definitely could be believable and not in a, you know, in a kind of contrived box ticky kind of way. Yeah.
But it fits the show as well. Like,
it does. Yeah.
You know, you're not just sort of plopping a gay alien in, you know, and then we're like, oh,
yeah.
You know, just because. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm LGBT, and that would be my worst nightmare.
Yes.
There's nothing I hate more than some massive stereotype being plonked in, and you know, because they need to.
Yeah,
You know?
it's insulting, isn't it? Really, because like I think you and I have talked about a few LGBTQ characters in other soaps where they've made them like a caricature, you know, and it's a gay guy that just goes around shagging everyone, and it's like, oh, come on.
We've got to be careful as well because of the show setting, it can't be an excuse not to either.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's a fine line, isn't it?
It is, and it's a difficult one to get right, I think.
But yeah, you're right. The caricature, the stereotype is my worst nightmare.
The stereotype of I'll get drunk and I'll just take home a random guy from the bar, you know? It's insulting, isn't it, really? If that's the only representation you've got on the show is just some guy that goes and drinks shots and then takes home the first guy he sees without even knowing his name, which is what a lot of the soaps do, you know, it's just for that salacious kind of it's not representative. It feels a bit dirty and it is a bit insulting. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like from my point of view, it feels like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think perhaps if the fostering thing does rumble on, that's a really good excuse to dabble in like gender identity.
Yeah.
Without it being a sort of long-term commitment.
Yes.
There's things there is things and there's opportunity. We just need the will.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
definitely. Definitely. And then to end Liam's message, we got there eventually. Sorry, Liam, it took a while, but it was really interesting to get your thoughts.
Thanks.
But Liam says, all that being said, thank you for always finding the humour and fun in the show and the huge effort that you put in. I always feel more engaged with Home and Away once I've heard your takes. So we do appreciate that.
Yes.
I hope our takes haven't made you feel the opposite of that.
Listen, you've sparked a debate, and that's what this is all about. We started this podcast to chat, you know, and share our opinions. So thank you for. I'm so glad you enjoy it.
I'm just so sad that you're not enjoying the show, Liam.
Yeah.
That makes me genuinely sad because it's not nice to watch a show and feel like you're enjoying it and feel like you're not really engaging with it, and it's kind of sad because it's like it's my favorite show, and if you're not, and I feel like I need to kind of help you.
Come over and have a cup of tea.
Come and sit with us.
And we'll get you back get you back in love. Listen, stick with it if you can.
Yeah.
Stay with us. Do keep us updated as well. Fill in the form anytime. Keep us with how you're going. If you need a bit of encouragement on something, if you just need to vent, go on the farm.
Exactly.
Get in touch.
I think it helps, and I think you're free to vent with us, and you're free to like listen to us if if you can't watch a certain scene, listen to us talk about it on the podcast, and we'll tell you what happened without you having to watch it and that kind of thing. And we're kind of lucky in a way because there's a lot of things that we don't necessarily enjoy on the show. But I know if I text Sai and say, "Oh God, this Tana stuff is doing my head in," I will get a funny message back from you, which will make me go, "Okay, it's not that serious. It's not that deep."
Yeah.
I can get through this week. It's going to be the end is in sight. The storyline can't rumble on forever. So if you haven't got that person in your life, we can be that person. You can just send us a form.
Absolutely.
Give us your vent on what's pissing you off this week with the show, and hopefully we can try and take your mind off it or reinforce your belief or whatever it is, because it does help. We're all in this together. There's bits that we enjoy, there's bits that we don't, and I think we just need to
get each other through.
Try and enjoy
pick each other up.
Try and enjoy the bits that we can, and try and remember that it's just a show. It's just a TV show at the end of the day. And if you're not enjoying it, in 6 weeks' time, this storyline will be over, and something else will happen. And and that's
off we go again.
And that's what I find really helpful when I talk to Sai, because I do get frustrated sometimes, and I go, "Oh God, I can't take any more of this." With the Tana and Harper stuff last year, I got to the point where I said to you, "I don't know how much more of this I can take. I can't watch this anymore." But because you kind of made it funny and like brought me out of it, and were like, "It's going to be over soon," and just crack on, darling. You kind of make some jokes to me. I was like, "Oh, okay, right. I'll just put on my big girl pants and get through it." And eventually I did, and now actually I quite like Harper. And last year I was screaming and saying I couldn't stand her and all this stuff, and this year I actually quite like her. So you just have to sometimes trudge through, don't you? I don't know how else to put it.
You do, but that's soap for you. That's unique to a soap, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have anything to add to that. Yeah.
Just trudge through with us, Liam. We'll get you through. Wade through, and hopefully you'll get to the other side, and you'll start to feel a bit more different about the show, and things will happen that you enjoy more, and maybe you'll get your wish, and maybe Marilyn will get a decent storyline, or maybe something else will come along that you enjoy more. Maybe one of the characters that you wish for will appear, in the storylines. And don't give up on us. But if you need to get a break from the show and just want to hear our take on it, just tune into the podcast. We'll tell you what's happened. You have to watch it.
So very true.
Yeah. But thank you for getting in touch with us, Liam. Lots of things to say this week. And as I say every week, without you getting in touch, there would be no Your Say on the Bay. So please do contact us. Go to coastalnewspod.com, fill out that form, and we might just read out your thoughts next week.
Please take the time to like, subscribe, and review Coastal News wherever you source your podcasts, and ensure you never miss an episode.